This is Dr. Justina Agnieszka Chevallier. Chapter 6 of my book is entitled What's an Instinct to Kill? Darwinian, Buddhist and Christian explanations do not contradict one another. Is there a naturally or possibly unlimited, non-natural decided upon survival by killing or destruction? And the last question addressed in this chapter is, where does shrinkage come from? To start with, we need to understand that there is nothing from the standpoint of a bigger picture natural about killing. In fact, there's no natural instinct to kill. That instinct is only, always, following cause-effect in real time, like in real time in a recording. In real time meaning happening now, in this very moment. Such as, for example, now there's a highway in front of me with cars making noises while I am speaking. That means in real time now I am speaking and cars driving make noise. That's what it means. While I am recording it, and when you will be watching it, you will be watching a reality remote in past to where you will be sitting while you will be listening to other things and while you will be having concomitant occurrences called your real time in the future when that video will be uploaded and viewed by someone. And so that instinct to kill consists of an occurrence of insults with an intent to kill in one or many species, while the person who experiences instinct to kill or seeks to kill, that is sometimes visible or perceivable by others, is at some point of that time being responsible for those that are being killed and collecting what is directly or indirectly creating demand for suffering and demand by inflicting those injuries to what is now being killed in real time. Let's say I want to kill a mosquito and I want to kill it. It's sitting here, it's not doing anything to me, and I feel potent urge to do so, which is from that standpoint instinct to kill. A person from internal point of self-perception, we all sometimes experience instinct to kill. We know how it feels, or we can see it. Many times we can mistake it, but we know how it feels at times. Most, if not all of us. And that is not natural. It means in a bigger picture, in real time, if I am now thinking I'm gonna kill that mosquito, there is someone right now being bitten by mosquitoes and entering, for example, a phase of I don't know, dengue fever, hemorrhagic dengue fever in Mexico, by these species of that mosquito, and that instinct, it is not meant to kill that mosquito that is benign, but to send a message to the ecosystem that these mosquitoes over there are collecting ones of my kind for what others of my kind are being harming, and marking as okay to kill, normalization of death, remember that, collecting somewhere in dengue fever while I am now trying to collect the mosquito and create that clash in external environment solvable by human reason, empathy and planning and analysis. And in real time, by knowing that I gain not much by killing a mosquito, I gain a lot, for example, using a mosquito repellent, or making sure that whatever it is that the mosquito is being killing because of. For example, we fumigated with a bactericide a whole area of dengue virus in preventative measurements, and that mosquito is very upset because that virus, normally assuming commensal, was not attacking or giving sniffles, nothing more, and passing by. And so that mosquito then enters a cycle similar on a larger picture to parasitosis that in inner medicine or in own analysis is manifested as instinct to kill. Now, Darwinian theory talks about adaptative mechanism. It means that with time, evolution caused that what prior to a certain point was lethal was marked in appearance of a person or an animal to cope with it in such way that it will extend lifespan and induce a state of enjoyment, everyday enjoyment, without realization that killing actually is, for all of living beings, a choice. A choice that, to answer that question in Buddhism, that in Buddhism, non-killing and middle way reality combined, meaning choice of the best way to actually avoid both killing and self-annihilation and self-harm, that is based by aversion and joy in every single creature, at no harm or least harm possible, like going through a bush trying to destroy as little as possible, does not harm my legs as much, and that is true for all of us. And that means the non-killing reveals that middle way reality is taken as a concept for medicine, apart from do no harm, and for every area of life, including food, shelter, and all of other areas, and becomes a source of ingenuity. And that innovation and speed and improvement of skills. And Christian now, a take for that is explained in whatever you do to one of the smallest ones of I, you do it to I, which means also combined with love a thyself as much as another, and the absent one more, which means what does this stand for? It means self you will love as much as any other, because killing that little mosquito will bring those mosquitoes back and will propagate in bouts dengue fever because of an intent to normatize killing of selected species in form of other species collected for that mosquito, for example mutated virus, or having a mosquito in itself move to the area with a mutated virus, and it is enough with one root. And that is why the Christian, whatever you did to the smallest one, combined with eternal life, also promoted in the nine immortals, as Christ, as if he was given a CPR, post those 5 minutes that are prescribed in many algorithms, survives and lives somewhere, immigrated somewhere, because he has no expiration date. No one, if you follow those rules, will kill. And the same is with all of animals. Teeth or other, for instance, defense mechanism are mechanisms of survival, which means dog can use those teeth to also enable a person open a coconut or gain a shelter or carry things. And dog, by its nature, the same as wolf, deer, and other species, if marked as a killer, will take revenge in targeting these who are more privileged. And similar is translated to humans who are privileged to have only vegan food at high prices. And we need to remember that there is no predestined to killing based on characteristics. Despite Darwinian changes between humans, there is also not a predestined to death and lack of knowledge group that is only then to seize food that is non-killed and privilege of being good to the others and enjoy replication in exchange for death as being compared to cows or whatever the persons actually do. And there is also untrue in Christianity that the sacrificial lamb is honorable, because if I kill myself, there's no one that I can love and many that will be harmed by my absence. And that applies to all of us, including God. And God is as if an absent delegated to us Godfather, as opposed to own father, and therefore that is not true actually, that God will always alleviate suffering, but that God created persons on own image. And all those three, if we take as the smallest of us, even a mosquito or a prion as a scope, and limit that, for instance, a potent bactericide for a sore throat, only two instances when a person is close to a perception of being killed by that microorganism, while we take appropriate modification in lifestyle, in reduction of so-called killing quota. And so what does this mean? Reduction of that person's use for leather, for meat, for all of that may enjoy as a breath of fresh air, that person being weak, dead, or that person being actually unable to order anything, because that person generates a large demand for suffering to be ignored, and is being actually rationalizing that ignoring, while others, labeled only the smallest ones as humans or children, which makes for persons who are at times killing feel righteous. And so there is no unlimited survival by killing. I wrote a book entitled The Last Evil Creature of Universe, and posed in that book a hypothetical question. What if a person had a power aspired by many to wipe out the whole universe of all living creatures, and was left with only enough of goods for self to survive? Would that person, not killing anymore, survive, not being targeted? Would there be anything else for that person that that person would actually perceive as a need in absence of most? And the answer, the only answer possible to give, is that it is not possible unless we create an illusion of emptiness as mind exercise proposed by Zen Buddhism. And that is mind exercise to realize in fact what it feels like to non-exist or exist in vacuum. And that is the only way to understand that there is no purpose in killing and annihilation, because while all would destroy and collapse itself and one would persevere, there would be nothing else left to sustain life, and most probably that person or creature would annihilate because of probably pull towards grief which some determine as black hole, a collapse, non-stop collapse of a creature. And so is there the unlimited survival by killing? No. Is there trust obtained by selective killing? No. And we need to remember that.